Hello, this is the Extraordinary Rayman because my opinion is just that interesting. Well, today, folks, it's out with the good and with the bad. Today, I'm going to review Battle LA, or as I like to call it, Battle. We were actually supposed to go see Rango today, again, and I said after I saw Rango yesterday that I would see it in a heartbeat. Well, I guess I lied because I wanted something new. How new an alien invasion movie can be, I don't know, but I was in the mood to see something with explosions in it. So I convinced my friends that we should go see Battle. It was a bad idea. This movie, I say this about a lot of movies, this thing was a mess, a complete and utter shambles. The opening opens up good enough with military people flying around LA talking about how we cannot lose LA. They're taking us, killing us, blah blah blah. And there's a cool shot of all of LA burning up and them getting attacked. And I'm like, sweet, sweet. That looks pretty cool. And then we go back to 24 hours prior, and then the movie just dies. Everything just goes to complete hell. We're introduced to a handful of the most incredible group of stereotypes anybody could have imagined. We have black guy, nerdy black guy, so you kill two birds with one stone there. You have, the hardened general. He's not a general, but I'm not into military terms. Pardon me. You have the Mexican. You have an Italian guy. Actually, I've never seen an Italian guy in a war film before like this. You have like the nerd who's scared about everything, and Jesus. You even have. They have the guy from Transformers 2, the Mexican guy who doesn't shut up. Oh my God. Oh. But yeah. See, the first 10 or so minutes where we're introduced to the characters, it's supposed to be us, getting to like them a little bit, getting comfortable with them, seeing them as real people so that we can feel for them, relate to them. Later on, when they're being shot at by aliens, it doesn't work because they're either stereotypes or they're just not interesting. Most of the characters, well, at least the handful that I can think of offhand, are introduced when they're like drinking and like throwing up and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, that's who I want to, root for in my movies is a bunch of drunk, frat boys. No, thank you. No, thank you. And especially because I can see why they had to do this because we get no downtime afterwards, after this. And okay, I'll get there. All right, so then the aliens land, and they start shooting at people on the beach. You see it on the news, and they're like shooting people at the beach. How? How? They just said 5 minutes before that they were evacuating. All right, it looks good in the trailer, but in common sense world, doesn't make any sense. Good Lord. All right, so then we actually get them sent out against the aliens, and this movie, I will get it credit. This is the first time I've really ever seen a movie handle an alien invasion from just the perspective of the military with pretty much no civilians. There are some civilians that they have to save, but the story is mainly seen through the eyes of the Marines. And I will give it that. That is a really interesting take because it allows the movie to be a fast-paced action movie. But, okay, they're setting everybody up. We're going to go into the city, and it starts off what is a problem through the rest of this film is the dialogue. The guy giving the typical speech before they all are sent out. This is the worst speech one could possibly imagine. He actually says, pardon my French for a second, he says, blah, 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 because this is America, goddammit, or something like that. Something basically like that. Confused Matthew, one of my favorite video reviewer guys, made a joke about that constantly, and I think it was his review of Transformers, and then he would play the Team America theme. I wanted the Team America theme to start playing at multiple times in this story. And there's other instances where the dialogue just Nobody talks like this. Nobody, under the most stressful situations, no one is going to talk like this. I understand. I know. You're going to want to have your characters crack some jokes here and then. It lightens things up. It keeps things from being less depressing. But they have to be realistic when they run into Michelle Rodriguez's character. Ugh. Why is she in movies? When they run into her, she tells them her rank, which my friend tells me doesn't actually even exist. I'll have to Google that. Aaron Eckhart's character asks her, "Do you know how to fire that weapon?" And she responds with, "I didn't get this to where I am in the military for my good looks." Alright, let's take the comment apart a little bit. One, sorry Michelle Rodriguez, you're not a bad-looking girl, but you cannot pull off that line. And secondly, no one is going to say that under any, immediately dangerous situation. And then we have the battle sequences, the shootouts, and these things are constant bombardments. The first sorry exchange that the humans have with the aliens is insane, ridiculous. One of the soldiers themselves yells out, "Ah! Which way are they coming from?" That's a good frickin' question, because I have no idea where they're coming from. It's just bullets shooting everywhere. The choreography of this is non-existent. When you have a firefight, any sort of action sequence, we need a middle, a beginning, an end. We need to know where certain people are so we can keep track of it, so it's just not and that's what this is. Thankfully, a friend of mine who I went to see this with pointed it out to me. This does have good shaky cam. Now, shaky cam doesn't bother me that much. Like, I think in Batman it's done really well. You see everything you need to see if you're paying attention. Same thing in Cloverfield. But sometimes, like in I Am Number 4, which I've been meaning to do a review for that too, you can't see anything. But they do a good job because he thinks, as my friend said, that the shaky cam was digitally added to where they kind of moved the camera. They moved the camera after filming digitally. But that's nothing. You can't. That doesn't save anything. Also, it was like a video game. That too, I think, is a possibly overused insult against action movies. But this wasn't terribly over the top like most action movies are that are accused of being like video games. This seemed like a video game. This seemed, as another one of my friends pointed out, actually it's my brother, the one who ruined my video yesterday, said it seemed like the script, the whole script was written by some 20-year-old guy who plays Call of Duty. Because it's just one firefight after another. Constant. No downtime. No character development. No, just... There really was hardly even a plot to this movie. I know that's an easy thing to say about a movie, but there was no plot. Okay, go into LA and find civilians. Then we'll just go along from there. The plot unfolds as it goes along. Sure, it's a non-linear plot, possibly, but when you're a bad movie, you can't get away with that. And also, they stole the Terminator theme. The Terminator theme. They used the bum 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 multiple times. Ridiculous. But on the bright side, I will give it. This had a very interesting alien design. A friend of mine said it was kind of like steampunk aliens, which I think is pretty interesting. But it begs the question, how did they get here to begin with if they have this crappy technology? And I will say the aliens' motive in this makes more sense than Signs, a movie of much better quality, because the aliens in this actually use water as their life force. But yeah, it was bad. It was magically delicious. It was supremely, exuberantly annoying at how stupid this movie was. And it's not like it has some good intentions with the amount of patriotism and the hoorah, Gustav, Gutspa that the Marine characters in this have. But that can't. All the best intentions in the world cannot save this movie from being silly and poorly set out, laid out, and poorly organized, terribly written. Yeah, so, nope, no good. Go see Rango instead. Or, Lincoln Lawyer. Or Take Me Home Tonight. That's pretty much the best stuff that's in theaters right now that I can think of. Alright? Yeah. Take it from me. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know what I'm talking about. Alright, I've said enough. This has been the Extraordinary Rayman, signing off. I will see you next time.